Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. It's great to have you with us. Welcome to this webinar, and above all, to all the boys and the families, welcome to Sherborne School. We're really looking forward to having you join us in September. Some of you may know that Sunday just gone, we had a meeting here at Sherborne at the school. We had lunch with some of the boys and their families, and it was a great opportunity to get to know everyone so much better. And I'm conscious some of you on the call were at that event, and it was really wonderful to spend some time with you. And we look forward to doing the same with all the families who are joining us in September. I'm going to speak for a little bit now and just tell you a bit more about the sixth form, about the school, and Dr. Filtness, our deputy academic, he'll then say a few words. And we've also got some boys who joined us in the sixth form, two boys, Vilko and Alex, who are currently in our upper six, doing their A-levels, and then Ali and Hugo, who joined us in September 2023, who are now come to the end of their lower sixth year and will be joining the upper six in September. So we'll be here with the new boys leading the sixth form forwards going from September 24. What I want to say is, above all things, a huge welcome. And if you have any questions, there'll be time for questions at the end of this webinar. Please do ask them of us. And also, if after the webinar you have more questions, then please follow up. That could be a conversation with your new housemaster. It could be a conversation with myself, with Ms. Megdich and her team in admissions, or with Dr. Filtness. We want you to be completely reassured, both the boys and parents, of all aspects of your new life at Sherborne School, and just feel ready and knowing what to expect, and ultimately want you really looking forward to your new life for the next 2 years of your school career. The sixth form, I think, is a wonderful time to start a new school. And there are many reasons for that. I've been involved in sixth form life for the best part of my career in education, which is 20 odd years now. And what I think is particularly special about the sixth form compared to other entry points, whether that's year 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, is that with the sixth form, everyone is new. Even if they've been in school years prior to the sixth form, the sixth form is an entirely new experience. Everyone's wearing new school uniform at Sherborne. They're doing new subjects. They are entering new classrooms, new sets, new groups. And so there's a lot of excitement. So the boys who are already at Sherborne, they are really looking forward to a change, and we really welcoming you and embracing you into the school because they're ready for that. Also, biologically, everyone's a good bit older and are at a time in their lives where they're so much more mature and open-minded and welcoming of a new diversity to the sixth form group. So it's a really special time, and above all things, we want you to be happy, we want you to thrive, we want you to flourish and have a really special time yourselves at Sherborne School. We talk a lot about pathways at Sherborne, and that is something we'll be talking with you, if we haven't already, to make sure that you've got the support that you need and you as families need in order to be prepared for the post-18 destinations that you choose to go on. Now, some of you might be in a situation where you've already got quite a good idea about what kind of post-18 destination you want to go on, and some of you may have no idea whatsoever, and that's absolutely fine. We will help you. There are 3 key stages, if you like, to that process. We refer to the exploration stage, explore, the preparation stage, prepare, and then the application stage, apply. So explore, prepare, apply. And some of you might have done a good bit of exploring already, and some of you may not have started on that particular journey. But myself, the Careers and Pathways team, the housemasters, the tutors, and the boys as well around you, we're all here to support you. Our mission at Sherborne School, particularly focused in the careers department, is we want to help every pupil find the most inspiring individual pathway so that they can make a positive and purposeful impact upon the world. And having that purpose makes a huge difference to the way in which you do everything, the way in which you get up in the morning, the way in which you approach your lessons, the way in which you approach your hall, which is what we call homework, how you might work in the holidays, the work experience that you might put yourselves forward for. So finding that purpose is a really key part of what we want to do and make sure that you have as you enter the sixth form and as you go through the sixth form. The last thing I want to talk about before I hand over to Dr. Filtness is this idea of fun. It will be hard work. And by hard work, I mean that as a really positive thing. Hard work is good because you should be working on things that you find enjoyable, that you find make you really happy, get you in that flow. You have that purpose. So it will be hard work, but that's a good thing. But also there will be lots of fun. The boys really enjoy being with each other in the sixth form in particular. And also we have this very special relationship with Sherborne girls. And so there'll be lots of opportunities for you to socialize with Sherborne girls and get to know the girls and make good friendships with the girls, friendships for life. There'll be socials every weekend. And also there'll be lots of interaction in academic groups, academic societies. If you are involved in the creative arts, that could be in art, in music, drama, film, and also in all sorts of activities and aspects of school life, even if that's just socializing in the town and going for tea, coffee, etc. So above all things, we want you as the new boys join us to be really happy, excited and looking forward to joining Sherborne. We want your families to feel that you've had the support you need in this transition from one school to another. And also we want you to, to be sort of genuinely looking forward to being here in September and getting stuck into your new life at Sherborne and really enjoying things and making the most of the opportunities available to you for the 6 terms that you were with us. And those 6 terms will go quickly, and I'm sure Dr. Filtness will touch on that now. But that's it from me. I'll say a little more as we go through the webinar, and I'll of course field the questions and answers at the end. But if I hand over to my colleague now, Dr. Filtness, and I'll see you very shortly.
Morning, gentlemen. I hope you can see me. I'm having some IT glitches at the moment, so I can't see any of you, but hopefully you can see me. To echo what Mr. Boyd Williams has said, I've really got one message for you. I've got a couple of housekeeping things, but one message, which is to make the most of the time that you have at Sherborne. It's a cliche, and I'm sure old people like myself will have said it to you before, but the time will absolutely rocket past. So make the most of it. I think one of perhaps even the main thing that a Sherborne education gives you that makes it unique is opportunity. So the lessons, the support that you receive when you apply to university, the games, the clubs, the societies, these things are the bedrock, if you like. But it's the stuff on top of that, the extras, that I think really give you the opportunity to stand out and to go that little bit further. So my message to you is, when you start, go for it. Take stuff on, try things, do the house play, trial for the firsts, go to the extra support sessions, go to the lectures and the clubs and the societies, and absolutely make the most of what you have in front of you, because it will shoot past. The 2 little housekeeping things that I have are, I know a number of you are still thinking about your subject choices for September. That is absolutely fine. In fact, it's perfectly normal. We have got subject choices for you that you submitted to admissions a few months ago, and we've booked places in the subjects that you asked for, waiting for you for September. If you change your mind, or when you get your results in August, if that means that you want to have a rethink, that's absolutely okay. That's absolutely fine. What I'd ask, though, please, if you do change your mind on what subjects you want to do, is that you contact us and we talk it through. It's usually relatively straightforward to switch your subjects over, but we do want to just double check that. So if you do find that you've changed your mind, that's fine. Just drop me an email and we'll have a conversation and switch you over. The second thing is that when you get your results, be they the MYP program, be they GCSEs or a different set of qualifications, please can I ask you to send those in on results day. just a screenshot if you're collecting them digitally, or a copy, a photocopy, or a picture of your paper slip if you're collecting them that way. That would be fantastic. We do need to check that they're yours, so whatever details your school uses to identify you, those need to be on there as well. But that would be fantastic, just to confirm what your results are when you receive them during the summer. That's all that I specifically wanted to say to you. But I'll close by saying what a pleasure it is to have so many fantastic young men joining us. I'm really excited about meeting you properly in September, and I'm really looking forward to it. It's a privilege for myself and my colleagues to be working with you. There's a huge amount of potential in you as a group of young people, and I'm very excited by that. So thank you, and I hope to see you soon.
Thanks so much, Dr. Filtness. I'm going to ask our Director of Admissions, Anne Megdich, who's joined us. Welcome, Anne. Great to have you with us.
Thank you. Sorry, I was struggling to get on. I think my laptop has been running around all day so far, and didn't quite know where it was. So anyway, I'm here. Hello, everyone.
Hey, the joy I felt when I saw your name pop up. It was a lovely moment. Thank you for that. I'll let you have a few words, Anne.
Thank you. And yes, I'm really sorry I wasn't here to start off, as I said, laptop problems, but I'm here, and it's so lovely to see so many names that we've been working with over some months now to welcome you to our webinar today. Again, it's your opportunity to ask lots of questions, and that's important. So please do ask any questions using the chat facility, and we'll get through those. But before we do that, I just want to open up now to the forum for 4 of our current boys here, a couple of lower 6 boys and a couple of upper 6 boys, all who joined us in the 6th form. And the reason for that is to enable you to see that it doesn't matter if you haven't been here for 3 years already. These boys are all talented boys at different stages of their journey who have all achieved great things so far. Some of them will leave us sadly at the end of this year, and some of them we have the pleasure of having another year with yet. But just really so that you can hear from them a little bit about their experience. So guys, if you're Vilko, Ali, Alex and Hugo, if you're able to join us now, and just tell in turn each of you a little bit about yourself, where you came from, how long you've been here, and what your thoughts were about joining the school in the 6th form, and what you've experienced so far. So if I could hand over to, let's start with Vilko.
Good morning to everyone. Can you hear me, miss? Is that all right?
I can hear you loud and clear. Thank you.
Good. Well, first of all, good morning to the boys and to new boys, and welcome to Sherborne School, and possibly to parents present. As Miss said, my name is Velko, and I came from Serbia here. I think it's good to start with where I began, and that's in south central town of Serbia, post-industrial, basically being in a school which was a concrete block. And why I'm saying that, it's because it was a drastic change when I came here to, well, lush green countryside we here have in Sherborne, and the lovely building. But it was more than just the architecture change. It was also the A-level system, and the system in schooling in England was totally different to my own in Serbia. And if it were not for the, well, for the teaching staff, but not only the teaching staff, but the staff in general here in Sherborne being so supportive, I don't think I would have managed as much and enjoyed it as much as I have for these 2 years I have been here. And I'm saying that because it's important, as Dr. Filtness and Mr. Boyd Williams said previously, to enjoy your Sherborne experience, and I can guarantee you that you will. But upon that, I will guarantee you also that you can explore yourself. And as Dr. Filtner said about trying the extracurricular, as I remember my time, it was the first week or maybe second week I came to Sherborne and I wanted to do additional French besides my A-levels. And I came to his office, knocked on his doors, and 15 minutes later, I knew that tomorrow I will have my first French lesson. So it was as easy as that in my case, but I'm sure that I'm not a specific case in Sherborne in that instance. So it's really up to you how much you want from Sherborne, and I think you should grasp as much as there is, and there is a lot. Besides your academics, I would also say that even though I do more STEM subjects for my A-levels, being maths, further maths, physics, and chemistry, I found the English transition a bit hard in just the way of phrasing things. Every single one of my teachers was there to help, being just extra classes or just chatting to them, emailing them. Everybody was so proactive that, well, I could only be thankful to where I am at the moment with all my A levels. Fingers crossed. But yeah, that'll be that'll be it for me. I just wish all the chaps here good luck and a good spirit, because that with this organization, that's only what you need, a good spirit, and you'll definitely have whatever your wishes are. Thanks.
That's brilliant, Vilko. Thank you so much, and please do hang around, because I'm sure there's some questions that are going to come up for you shortly.
Sure.
So please hang fire. Alex, could we go to you now, please?
Hello, Miss. Can you hear me?
I can hear you loudly. Thank you. Thank you very much for joining us.
Hello, I'm in Abbey with Velco. So I joined last year from Whitgift, which is in London.
Yeah.
It's a slightly different school. It's a lot bigger. And what's quite nice about this school is it's not too big. Your years are quite small, and then your house is also quite nice. I don't know how many of you have boarded before, but boarding is a very nice thing to do. It means you have access to teachers every evening, but also you have the free time and no commute, meaning you can do things in the evening. So for example, I think was it last week, our whole house went and played squash, and then last night, for example, most of us went and swam and did some other bits in the pool and just had some nice fun, which you wouldn't be able to do at a day school per se.
Okay.
I think when you join, yes, academics are very important in the sixth form, but also get stuck into co-curricular, like Velko said. So I think Velko did CCF, which he really enjoyed. I got into hockey, and that was a lot of fun because you get to go around to other schools. Obviously, you probably do sports at your schools, but you get to do it, and training 3 times a week, and it's a lot of fun. What else? There are, as Mr. Boyd Williams said, co-curricular sessions with the girls' school. So there was an Oxbridge or higher education, so uni prep, interview prep with the girls' school and the couple of other local schools, which was quite interesting and good to, 1, meet other people, but 2, learn about new things and develop a wider horizon. We also, for chemistry, have lectures once or twice a term that basically you have to prepare something about a random subject that's not to do with your A-level, as in, well, it's part of chemistry, but not to do with A-level chemistry, and then speak in front of 2 or 3 other schools. And it's actually very interesting because you learn a lot about different things you just would not learn otherwise. I think, yes, as the teacher said, get your head stuck into anything and everything they throw at you, because your time will go very, very quickly. And to think that I only have 1 week left is mad.
Oh my goodness, don't say it like that. That sounds awful. Just 1 week left. Hugo, thank you, Alex. Sorry, again, please hang around, because I'm sure there will be some questions that will be different for lower 6 and upper 6. So please do keep on the call. Hugo, can I come to you now just to get your experience, because obviously you're coming to the end of your first year now. How has it been for you, settling into an established year group?
Yeah, so wait, can you hear me all right?
I can hear you, but I've lost your face.
Oh yeah, no, I've just lost it. Oh, for goodness sake.
Don't worry, as long as we can hear you, that's fine.
Well, is that all right?
That's fine. Brilliant.
Yeah, cool. Right. So yeah, my name's Hugo. I joined earlier this year into the lower 6th or year 12. So originally, I come from Bournemouth Grammar, so it's a non-boarding sort of day school, and it's a state comp. So coming into school like in Sherborne, it was completely different for me. It was like a whole new world, I guess you could say. So I was nervous for it, but I was definitely excited because it's something different, and it hasn't really disappointed, to be honest with you. Like obviously, you're coming into an established group. Like these lads have known each other for 3 years, so I was never going to be anyone's best friend within the first week, but you give it time and you will be. And obviously, I mean, the other thing, like boarding, never done that before, but it's been great. I've actually really enjoyed it. It's one of them things like you'll have your mates around you all the time. It's like you're having a sleepover all the time. Obviously, they're not always in your room. In sixth form, you'll have your own, or at least in my house, because I'm in Abbeylands, so that's one of the ones nearer the school and the sort of the dining hall, which is probably the most important part. But yeah, no, it's been really good, I think. Obviously, the other side of things with sports, I've come here for on a rugby scholarship, and that's really helped me sort of get to know people, because obviously, like I say, I come in knowing I knew of people, but I didn't really know them, and the sports side of things definitely helped with that. So like there was preseason things in the summer before I joined the school. That was great, getting to know people before I came. So I mean, if there's opportunity for any of you to do that, I definitely would, because it helped me no end. And the sport is really good. Obviously, you'll have two training sessions a week, and then if you got a fixture on a Saturday, you'll have that, or it'll be training session. And obviously, because I like my rugby, I've really enjoyed that side of things. But it won't just be that. So you have other terms. So I did rugby for the first term, then I did football, and then I was doing athletics, but I can't do it at the moment. But yeah, it's honestly, I think it's been fantastic. So it's definitely something I'm very glad to have sort of taken up on the opportunity, and I'm looking forward now to going into my second year. So yeah, it's been good.
Thank you. And yes, Hugo just explained there is not able to do any athletics. I believe you're walking around with your arm in a sling at the moment, aren't you?
Yes.
So,
yeah.
But I hope that wasn't us that broke you, and that was your self-breaking that you managed to do.
Nothing to do with the school, I haven't. Yeah.
Brilliant. And then and Hugo, again, please do hang around, because there will be questions, I know. And then for those of you that are thinking, well, that's great, these guys, Serbia's not that far away. Ali, come and join us. You've joined us from far lands. So you've come again from a really different background. You had never visited the school before you came, did you? You turned up on day one. That was the first time that you'd ever seen our school. You're on a scholarship program, but it was something quite different. So tell me how you found that, coming from the background that you did, from quite some travel away, and joining us as a scholar into our society. You'll need to unmute yourself, but.
Yeah, it was definitely an interesting experience. Yeah, as you said, I didn't really know much about the school. It was, I was told by the program that I would come to the school, and then I started researching more about it, and I found out that it's an amazing school. But definitely coming here was quite strange, because it's different from what I'm used to, and being from an Arabic medium school, everything seemed a bit different and difficult, but thankfully I was blessed to have very incredible teachers that helped me around, and that were willing to go the extra mile to help me and to make me understand the different concepts and everything. And especially with the subjects that I have, which I consider quite challenging, like maths and chemistry and biology. These subjects require a great deal of understanding to be able to move forward, and the teachers have been nothing but amazing. And yeah, there's so much to do in this school. I was actually I was absolutely overwhelmed the first week coming here because of how much we had to do, which was good, because back in my original school, the school that I came from, there wasn't much of a sense of community besides academics. I mean, we didn't really do much, but here in Sherborne there are so many clubs. There's sports, obviously, which I've really enjoyed. I've tried badminton for the first time, and I think I'll be carrying on with it because it's been an amazing journey with it, and yeah, there's so much to do. Yeah.
Fantastic. Well done. And how did you find, you're again coming into a house, you're in one of the houses that's just a few minutes walk away from the school rather than right next to the school like Abilan's or Schoolhouse, which are very, very close. So how do you find that, walking to school and going home at break times and things like that?
Actually don't mind it. It's lovely. You get to explore Sherborne a bit more and just seeing people walk around and everything, and everything's just so scenic here in Sherborne. It's an experience in and of itself, honestly.
Yeah. And do you walk up and down together in sort of small groups rather than always you're not always on your own, are you? You're in small groups that, you go to house together, you come back up for your meals, you go back down again to do your studies in the evening and things like that, but you're with other people as you're walking around the school.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. So I know there were a few questions, and I've heard Dr. Filtness has already answered some of those, which was about subject choices and whether you can change those at any point if you needed to. But are there any other questions that you have, boys that you have, parents that you might have about your boy or you starting here in September? Because we want to make sure that you feel as comfortable as you possibly can ahead of that, so that you can really hit the ground running from day one. I'll just give it a moment for people to ask any questions that they might have. Alex, do you want to jump in, and have you got any questions that you've had?
Yeah, gladly. I think just to reassure boys and parents, there'll be an induction program for you, which will start on Sunday, September 1st. And we will sort of take you in gently, if you like. And it will be a time, no doubt, where you will feel information overload, and we'll be really mindful of that, and we'll do our best to sort of dilute the amount of new stuff that you're having to take in. But we'll start with you as a group and meeting with you and, eating with you and just giving you time to acclimatise to Sherborne and Dorset. And then there'll be introduction sort of to other boys in your house. So you could kind of have a buddy, if you like, and have a point of contact. And then there'll be sort of induction process to introduce you to certain key buildings in the school, such as the library, making sure you're all logged into IT before your lessons start, all that sort of stuff. And we do that really well, and we'll look after you and make sure it's a staggered process, so you've got time to make sure you've got everything in order, all your ducks in the row, which is an expression we use in the UK, so you can start your lessons with the confidence that you know where you're going to be, you've met the people in your set, you know how to get from your boarding house to all the buildings where your lessons take place, and that you are confident and acclimatized and ready to go. I'm aware that we have 8 boarding houses here, so I'm speaking to a group who will be going off to different places, and some of the boarding houses are near a school and some are further away. None of them are that far away, and the boys, rightly, in a school such as ours, will always say that their boarding house is the best, and also whether if you're an in-house, there are pluses to that, and if you're an out-house, there are pluses to that, but all of them have got really great housemasters, really great matrons, really great staff who will look after you. And I'm sure very quickly you'll feel really at home and really proud to be not just part of the school, but part of your boarding house, which is going to be a really key part of your identity at school. If you are one of the outhouses, if you like, which is about 5 minutes walk from school, certainly in the sixth form, in the early days, you'll be walking with boys in your boarding house to breakfast, to lessons and so on. But Sherborne is such a safe environment. It's a really beautiful town, and the community are a key part of our offer, if you like. It's really special for us to to be very much integrated within the community, so boys walk to and from school to their boarding houses with freedom, liberty and safety at all times.
Absolutely. And we've just been talking, I've just actually been with the housemasters this morning talking through a number of things, getting ready for the year ahead. But one of the key things that they came away with was, it's about you, parents and boys and staff. We are an entire community here. It's not that you are sending your sons away to school and that you'll never see them and you have no contact with them, and what happens if. What we really, really appreciate is the communication that goes on between the boys, the parents and the housemasters, and the matrons as well. And that, you know, boys, if you have a concern, if you have something that you're not sure about, then your housemaster is there to support you. Please use them for that. Don't go to your parents and say, oh, I can't find X, or I can't do Y, or I'm not too sure how to do this. Your housemaster will be there, and it's much easier to go direct to them. And that's what they really encourage you to do, rather than going to your parents first, because it just delays you being able to find that solution. So communication is key, but equally, if there's anything that is concerning parents, or that parents want to know and you can't get hold of your son because, you know, like Vilko said, take advantage of everything and get stuck into everything right from the beginning. You might find that your son doesn't ring home very often and you're wondering what's going on. Then again, for parents, you know, the housemasters are there as a point of communication for you as well.
We've got a question, or a couple of questions come through.
I saw.
And I was going to say, Alex, I know, is a keen cyclist and done a fair bit of cycling in his time here. So the question, Alex, if you can come on screen and help answer, if I'm bringing my bicycle to the school, where can I safely store my bike? So if you could give some insight into that based on your experience, and also maybe tell us a little bit about the cycling that you've done, including the touring ride and the cycling opportunities that are available to boys at Sherborne.
Yes, so the touring ride, I'll talk about touring ride first, then I'll talk about storage of bikes. So the touring ride is an annual charity cycle that's held in Sherborne. I don't think it's by the school, but it is by local people, and anyone can do it. And you go with Mr. Walker and a couple of the other teachers, and it's either 100k or 150k cycle. It sounds like a lot, but it's a lot of fun, and basically it's a nice day out on a Sunday, cycling with friends and just chatting. Or if there's enough people, two groups, you have a faster group and then a more leisurely group. When I did it, there were only two people, so we had a more leisurely in time and we were chatting, and it was quite nice. And then cycling is allowed, I believe, in this term, so the Trinity term, as a games option. So they cycle 3 times a week on a Tuesday, Thursday and a Saturday. They start off with a 20k and then get to a 50k, or I think Kyo did 50 or 60k yesterday, which was quite strong. Oh no, Thursday, not yesterday. Yeah, so cycling at school is quite big and quite good. Storage of bikes. Our house has a shed and a storeroom for our bikes. Other houses, some of them have space in their rooms, but most people have a shed or a bike rack in-house for bikes. I don't know about every specific house, but most of them do.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. That's great, Alex. And Hugo, you might be able to answer this for us, but sports-wise, can you do the sports every term? So, for example, if you're a keen football player, or do you have to do rugby one term, cricket the next, and so on?
I think you can kind of do one sport for 2 terms. Like, I know football you can do for the first term and the second term, but not the third. Although the third one's usually different anyway, because it's a summer term. Like, a football season would have finished, the rugby season would have finished anyway. Rugby's a bit different. You can do 15s is the first term up until Christmas, but then after that, the second term is 7s. If we're not in I think if the first team have gone into like a cups competition, they've gone deep into that will continue into the second term. But if not, then it is just rugby sevens the second term. So for the most part, you would be picking a different sport every sort of term, really.
But that doesn't mean to say, I mean, things like football, that goes on. You have house tournaments, you have kick-arounds, just because you're playing, you know, it's not that you can't, you can play football whenever you want, for example, in terms of around the house. But you've got the first couple of terms when you can play football, and there's so many sporting options. I mean, you think of the main ones of rugby, of football, of cricket, but there's also tennis, there's fives, there's polo, there's water polo, there's badminton, there's squash. It just goes on and on and on. And I think the level of teams, because of the number of boys we've got, it allows us for boys of all levels to take part and play competitively against other schools. Whereas I know in some schools you can only really do that if you're in the firsts or the seconds or the A's or the B's. Whereas here we go right the way down. And in some sports have Fs even, and that's just because of the number of boys that we have here, which is great. It gives sport for all.
Just to add to that, as Dr. Filton said, you'll choose to do what sport you do in each term. From my point of view, I'm approaching the end of my second year at Sherborne. But when I arrived here, I was just impressed of, as Ms. Megditch says, how much sport is going on, and also how rugby's really big here, but so are other sports. Football is really popular at Sherborne, and unlike lots of schools where football will be a sport you could do one term a year, usually in the Lent term, footballers can do it in the Michaelmas term and in the Lent term. So there's a lot of football on offer, and there's a really strong culture of football and rugby and hockey and cricket and badminton, what Ali says, and cycling. So, you know, we're a school with nearly 600 boys. And as a result of that, as Ms. Medrick said, we can field a lot of teams and also cater for the diversity of interest that there is in team sports and sports that are more individual, or cycling where it is a team as well, but it's a slightly different kind of team to rugby or football. Just to mention the cheering ride, which is a great thing to get involved in. So boys, you might be interested in doing that, but it's called the cheering ride. It's based on Alan Turing, and my understanding, and Ms. Megditch or Dr. Filton or Alex, please correct me if I'm wrong, but Alan Turing, he attended Sherborne School, the godfather of AI, and he arrived at Sherborne, but on a bicycle, because he got into port at Southampton, and I think he'd missed the train or the bus, so he had to cycle, and it's a pretty long journey from Southampton to Sherborne, but he did it, and he's a very extraordinary human being in all sorts of ways. So it's called the Turing Ride, and it's a great event, and the school's very much involved in the organisation of that.
Brilliant, thank you, Alex. So please do keep giving us our questions. I think, guys, are any of you able to talk about music a little bit? Because I know we've got some musicians joining us in September. The school has the most incredible reputation for music, not only the instrumental side of things, but also choir. Are any of you involved in the choir? I've possibly got 4 boys that aren't involved in choir, but are any of you involved in music at all? No, I have huge silence from my boys.
No, not in my case.
Okay, but Vilko, do you know people? So Toby, who you were with the other day, when we were hosting our live event, he is a rugby player and a musician and an academic, isn't he? He's a jack of all trades.
But, yeah, definitely.
Do you know much about the music that goes on here?
Well, I would know to tell only all the things that generally the boys know, and that's I think it's the music hall, which was quite. It wasn't long ago that it was refurbished, and it's when we were brought up to school first time, it was such a brilliant experience just going through there and seeing how many options the boys could have. Fortunately, I haven't had a chance to take up any music lessons, but
you need to come back and do another 2 years so you can start your music.
Well, yeah, we'll see about that. But first of all, I would say the hall itself, it seemed as equipped as one can be, which to me, as a person who doesn't know much music, can only tell, okay, this place is where I can explore myself through music, and through what I mean, choir in the Abbey, and what from what we can hear and from what boys will hear is, I think it's brilliant. It's just class, definitely. My first concerts I've been to were actually joint concerts from boys and girls school, and there was some extraordinary musicians down there, and then extraordinary pieces played. So all I can say, it is just as everything else in Sherborne. It's very brilliant, and it's definitely worked upon both by the teachers. I know a few people. Orlando Taverner, who's also in Abbey House, like Alex and me. He's a great singer, and he's been supported quite much from the teachers. So
Yeah.
only as per usual, just the best.
Brilliant. I think one of the things there to say is that the lovely thing about the school, and coming from a different school a few years ago, is that you are able to be a musician, you can be a sportsman, you can be a top academic, you can be anything you want to be here. You can be you, and we want you to be you. You're coming to us because of your talents, your individual talents, but you're not pigeonholed. So if you want to be in the first 15 and you want to be in the choir, you can do that. If you want to be in the classroom getting the very best results you can, but you want to be playing in the joint orchestra with the girls' school, you can, and it's actively encouraged. It's what we want our boys to do, is just take advantage of everything that is on offer here. I'm slightly nervous there's no questions. Does that mean that Tim and the boys, Dr. Filtness, Alex Boyd-Williams and the boys have told you everything that you need to know? Does anybody have any questions at all for us?
One thing I just wanted to add, perhaps before we move towards closing, but one thing I said to the boys and their families on Sunday, and particularly talking to the boys, is to do your really very best to start well, because it will get busy quite quickly, and that's the nature of boarding schools in particular. But if you do your best to complete the holiday work that you're set, and you'll be sent some holiday work, which will be some pre-course reading, pre-course tasks. Do those to the best of your ability, but also have high aspirations. So it might be that you're not a musician and you've never done music lessons, but then, well, if it's possible, you have the opportunity to do that, then maybe think about playing the guitar or playing the piano, and you don't have to have lessons to do that, but just think about developing practice. I say that as someone who did grade 2 piano not many years ago, got a merit, Mr. Megdich, so thank you very much. But there is joy, and it's really inspiring. The reason I did it is because I was a housemaster, and I was really inspired by the young people around me, and I thought, well, they're doing this, and they're working really hard, and they're doing all their sport. They are finding time for music, so I found time for music as well. And it's not hard to be inspired in the beautiful buildings of Sherborne School, in the beautiful town of Dorset, and with so many talented, aspirational, incredible people around you. So my advice to you: aim to start well, get stuck in, and have high aspirations for yourselves, because that will mean that you will do things better.
Absolutely. Dr. Filtness, is there anything else that you would like to add on the academic side of things?
Thank you. I've said get stuck in and take on the extras, but I think the other piece of advice I'd give is don't be afraid to ask for help. One of the great strengths of the school is that the teachers, as we've heard from Vilko, is that the teachers are here all the time, and their job is to help you. It is really, really common. In fact, I'd say probably for everyone, they'll experience it at some point, to find the step between what you've been doing for the last couple of years, whether it's GCSE or something else, and A-level, to find that step challenging. And what you do in that situation really determines how successful you are in the sixth form. So when you find that challenging, be proactive. Don't be worried about it. but do go and ask for help and do go and ask for support, and you'll never ever be told no. The teachers are here to help. And that sets you up. Not only does it help you deal with whatever issue you've encountered, but it sets you up brilliantly for the kind of way of learning at university or when you're an adult and you're largely responsible for yourself. So getting into kind of good habits and the proactive approach to dealing with things as and when you encounter them is absolutely what we want you to do. The other thing that I'd say is enjoy your studies. Sherborne's a school where that is, I hope, what is the case for everyone. But I know sometimes people feel that, it's a bit square to enjoy your work, but here that's normal. And I love the fact that Ali said that he finds kind of his lessons interesting at one level because I'm one of his teachers, but more than that because it says, we're doing the right thing. I want him to enjoy his lessons. That's what he's here for and what the lessons are here for. So I'd say that to you as well when you're joining the school. Enjoy it, make the most of it. Don't be afraid to ask for help, and jump in with both feet because it's a fantastic ride.
Thank you. Before you shoot off, can I just, when you're talking about the support from teachers, they're around in the boarding houses as well in the evening. It's quite unique for academic staff to be around on duty in the evenings to further that support, isn't it? Can you just mention that sort of role as well?
Sure, no problem. One of the big differences between a kind of day school environment and a number of the boys who've talked about their previous schools being a day school, my previous school was a day school, and the Sherborne boarding environment is that the help and support is here largely 24/7. You can ask for help and support in lessons, but some people find that a little bit intimidating to put up their hand and ask. So one thing that you could do, I'd encourage you to, is to ask for a tutorial. That's really common. I quite often meet up with boys in our hub, which is our school's coffee shop, and we can go through stuff there. In the sixth form, you'll have 9 study periods. One of the things that I'd love you to use them for is exactly what I've just described: tutorials, extra help. There are many academic support sessions organised by the departments themselves. So they have a kind of time advertised each week when you can drop in and get help. But as Miss Magdisha said, you can also get help from your tutors, and there will be at least 2 tutors plus your housemaster and any resident staff in the boarding house every day. Across a week, you're likely to have, if not your teachers, but then certainly a representative from each subject there in the house. And that time is for you. So it's helpful to kind of be able to get to know the duty staff. And if one of them is, for example, an economist, you're welcome to ask them for help then. In fact, I'm sure they'd welcome it. So you don't have to let lessons be the only place where you can get help. It can happen across the day into the evening. And, if you're on a weekend activity and there's a teacher there and there's a free moment, I'm sure they'd welcome that as an opportunity to help you as well.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. What I'd like to do now is because we've got no other questions coming through, I don't want to keep people longer than they need to. But what I would really love is just to have a final word from our boys themselves, for them just to say, what is their top tip as you start your Sherborne journey. And again, I'll start with the boys that will very sadly be leaving us in 2 weeks' time. But for now, if I could start with Vilko and then go to Alex, and then I'll go to Hugo and then Ali. So Vilko, your top tip to these guys, please.
I mean, it's a bit of a cliche, but just go through it, experience it, and do as much as you can, and you won't regret it, definitely.
Brilliant. Thank you. Alex.
Well, I think it's been said a lot, like getting involved is very getting involved is very important. There's a lot to do. But I think communicate with your house and get to know the people in your house is also very important, because they will be with you 24/7, as others have said.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. Hugo, your top tip. having gone through this experience 9 months ago?
Yeah. Oh, I'd probably say like definitely use your free periods for your like studies. You're gonna have to, because it will help no end. And then also like don't stay in your room too much. It can be easy to like just stay in there and like avoid people, but definitely try, you know, like they said, just like go out and make sure to get to know people, because it'll do you like so many favors.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Hugo. And Ali, what would be your top tip for these boys joining from further afield?
I would have to agree with the rest of them. It's definitely socializing and getting to know other people, because everyone here in Sherborne is amazing and very friendly and everything. And I made the mistake of being a bit reclusive to begin with, and which is part of my nature. But it definitely helps when you're surrounded by lovely people. It helps with the homesickness and everything. So that would be my top tip, really.
Brilliant. Well done. Thank you so much, Ali. Guys, thank you very, very much for joining us. Alex, would you like to sign off?
I would love to sign off, and just thank you to the boys for joining us today. Thank you, Anne. Thanks, Tim, and thank you to all our guests and the boys who are going to be joining us in September. As Dr. Phillips said, we're really looking forward to have you with us. We do consider it a privilege that you've chosen Sherborne as a school where you're going to be for sixth form. We want you to thrive here. We want you to flourish. We want you to have a really good time, build many, many happy memories, and also build the skills and the knowledge that's going to serve you well in the years to come, whatever pathways you go on, and we'll support you all the way. So thanks so much, and we'll look forward to seeing you soon.
And we're really excited about you joining us. It's a cracking group of boys coming in this year. So we shall see you all in September. And don't forget that we're here. The admissions team work throughout the summer holidays. So if you need anything at all, we're here to help you and support you on your journey. But we'll see you in just a couple of months' time.
Thanks, everyone. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.